nomination, and I will ask Chan to second my nomination for myself as chief. For Kevin Agostini, for my Chanson Ramsey, nominee. And my Gregory Fernandez will second. For Clyde Calendar, position of International Relations Officer. Kevin Agostini for Education Officer. For International Relations Officer, we have Fitzroy. For Melissa Aguilera, Greg will be Social Services Officer. Huggins, you will nominate. Denise will second. Alright. For Albania, Bacham, for Public Relations Officer, we will ask David can nominate and Chanson you can second. Alright. Desiree, we will not be then in that case, David, position for the first position of chairperson, I will like that. As current people are aware, the Activist Council agreed on an elections committee of 3 persons, Lennox Sanderson as the chair, Gregory Marchand and Tommy Dabro. So Gregory will officiate and the chairperson will join him later on this evening, and they will prepare a report at the end of the nomination process. After this, we still have a few positions, but those persons will come a little later on this afternoon during the course of the day. Nominations will remain open until 4. It's an open and free process. Anyone who's a member can present themselves anytime during the course of the day, but at 4 p.m., the nomination process will be declared closed by the elections officer who is here with us. So let us proceed. Warner will proceed as well as. Yeah.
Comrades, morning. And well, we have nominations now. Proceed with nominations and the position of chairman of the Movement for Social Justice, and we have Comrade Neville Warner here to nominate. Nomination is
Okay.
Let me ask for the position presiding officer. The next person will be for International Relations Officer Clyde Calendar, and then you have Fitzroy and Chantier.
Go. Thank you.
nominating the position of Public Relations Officer. Nominated Hollis and Desiree.
So you're in here, comrade?
Alright, well, Social Services Officer, Shaggy Ramsey, and Denise to sign up.
Yeah. Morning. All right. Yeah.
Alright, so the position of Jensen, Hudson Warwick, we have nominated.
Yeah? What did we have?
Yeah.
And we are just at the Ozzy.
As of this moment, we will now have the nomination for the position of political leader of the movement for social justice. Nominating him will be the young Shanti Marie. Shanti Marie Andrews, and seconding this nomination would be Warren. So what we should have done as of this moment, so far we would have had nominations for the positions of chairperson, general secretary, education officer, international relations officer, public relations officer, social services officer, and of course political leader.
So those of us who are here who have been nominated, the members of the executive have been nominated. We just do a group shot for the media. Okay?
Yeah.
Alright, I think we are off because the media has to go. Please us actually nominate and then after the group shot. Alright? Because I'm in charge of this one. Please just come. Hold on 1 second.
It's the only time we could get our power.
Alright?
So David, tell us a little bit about what happened here this morning with your...
Well, good morning to members of the media. Thank you very much for coming to the party office this morning of the MSJ, where we started our process of nominations for the executive for the 3-year term 2017-2020. According to our constitution, the executive holds office every 3 years. The last elections were in 2014, and we have to have the elections within 3 months of the party congress. Our party congress is next week, Sunday, the 19th of November, so nomination day is today. Assuming there's any challenge for any of the positions, the actual voting will be on the morning of the party congress, which will be next week, Sunday, the 19th of November. And there's a team that I've been working with, and together with some new people who are coming on the executive for this 3-year term. And I'm very proud to say that the MSJ, as you saw from this morning's exercise, is a party that is open democratic. We are also one that does not engage in scandal and bacchanal and confusion and legal challenges. We really are about, as Lloyd Best coined the phrase, the politics of hard work, because this is about bringing about real change in Trinidad and Tobago. And real change is not an easy task and really requires dedication and commitment. And the MSJ is deeply committed to bringing about real change. We listen, we work with people in their communities, and we will struggle to bring about justice for everyone so that everyone can have a better life. And at our Congress next week Sunday, we will have a very dynamic Congress. Next week Sunday we'll have a youth forum in the morning, being organized by our Youth for Social Justice team. We will also have a health fair and an open forum where members of the party and others from communities that join us can express their views and so on. So very democratic, very open. And then after lunch, we will have the ratification of the nomination process and election process by the election committee, which is chaired by Mr. Lalong Sampasing. And then we will have a report by the General Secretary, our audited financial reports, and an address by a very special guest, Mr. Jose Ramon Balaguer, who is the head of the International Relations Department of the Communist Party of Cuba. He's in his 80s and is one of the remaining survivors of the fight in the Sierra Maestra together with Fidel and Raul and others. So he comes out of that experience of fighting in the Sierra Maestra as part of the Cuban Revolution in the 1950s, and he's been part of the leadership of the Cuban process from the 50s to now. He's going to join us this is a very historic and special occasion. I believe this is his first visit to Trinidad and Tobago. And so he'll be our special guest. And then of course, assuming that I am elected the political leader, I will deliver, or whoever is the political leader will deliver the political leader's address. And our Congress therefore will be setting our sights on the 2020 general elections. We have 3 years in which we are going to be building the party, community by community, throughout the length and breadth of this country. So we have a powerful movement that can bring about justice.
What is the membership of the party, and has this dwindled or increased since the last election?
I don't know the exact number. There's a membership list there. I don't know the exact number. It did go down sometime after 2010 because of the hype around the elections of 2010, and a lot of people, particularly in the Pontypridd constituency, would have joined because we had a member of parliament and so on. And then it went down because some of those people were not necessarily MSJ, but they were supporters of the partnership, and they may have moved away. Others have come in, so we're getting people from Diego Martin, from Caranage, from Mount Dore, and other areas that we, Sandy Grandi, where we were not active before and where we didn't have members before, so there's an influx of new members. So what we're really seeing is, in a sense, is a renewal of the party in very many ways, and I think you will see that when on the 19th, when we have our Congress, which will be at the University of West Indies Inn and Conference Center, we will see the faces. We've tried to get more women on the executive team and younger people on the executive team. So we have new energy, new dynamic, and reflecting better the demographics of Trinidad and Tobago.
David, should in case you be re-elected, which indications are pointing that you might be re-elected. If you are re-elected, would you as a political leader of the MSJ consider joining another party? Because, I mean, your party is like less than 1% of the population. Is there any compromising that you will join with any other party? Because we're hearing new parties behind the scenes we're hearing. Would you consider being part of another political party?
Well, you have to identify which of those parties. The PNM has a policy quite clearly that they fight alone, lose alone, win alone. They don't engage in any coalitions. So that option is not on. Quite apart from their policy of their party, of course, is their policies in government, which at this moment really does not lend any possibility of our being part of the PNM or joining the PNM because of the policies they are implementing, which we are opposed to. The UNC, we were there, been there, done that, left that, and really there's nothing there. And when you look forward to 2020, the options are the same as in 2015. Kamal Prasad Biswas and the UNC, Keith Rowley and the PNM. And those are not options that I believe the country wants in a very real way. Yes, the other parties have their hardcore support, but there's a very large number of people in the country who say that Keith Rowley and the PNM, Kamal Prasad Biswas and UNC does not offer them any real alternative, which is why we are saying that we are really the only alternative at this point in time. COP, they have elections next week Sunday. Has anybody heard what's happening in the COP? You media people? I don't think so. So I don't think that the COP is a viable option at this moment or a real alternative. And there are others, yes, out there, but there have been no discussions between ourselves and anybody else. We are on the ground, as you have seen. We were in Lavantil and Upper Apache Street on Wednesday. Yesterday I was in Diego Martin and so on. Tomorrow morning I'm in Sandy Grandi Market and so on. And we've been in Caranage, we've been in Mount Dore, we've been in other communities. We are on the ground working with people, creating a movement.
David, based on what you said there just now about your party have dwindled and you think it's picking up, I mean, definitely we have seen in the last few elections that the MSJ haven't been making any inroads. Yes, you all were part of a partnership. Is there any consideration? I mean, people have their fallouts of really thinking about getting back. If you all really want to fight the enemy, who is the PNM?
The enemy is not just the PNM, if you put it in that sense. Both the UNC and the PNM are flip sides of the same coin. One is primarily supported by Afro-Trinidadians, the other one is supported primarily by Indo-Trinidadians. And that divisive politics of race and religion and geography and so on has caused the country to remain backwards and not able to go forward. And people are increasingly rejecting that. So for us, both the PNM and the UNC are really the same thing. Their policies in government are the same thing. The corruption, what do you hear? Who was engaged in more corruption with allocation of houses? Was it the PNM with the two Tobago ministers and the Vice President of the Senate down in Victoria Keys? Or was it the UNC with persons in the Ellerslie Park or Federation Park townhouses by ETC? So what is it? It is the other accusing the other of who is thieving more. That is not real politics. Only the MSJ offers a vision of the Second Republic. We have offered ideas about national reconstruction of the economy, about the social economy and so on. We're the only ones who have a vision, who have ideas about how to solve the problems in terms of change governance. And we didn't win the local government elections in Point Fortin, but 3 nights ago, we had a very big cottage meeting in Point Fortin. And so the work in Point Fortin is building. And as I said, you know, if you heard of a resident from Diego Martin yesterday being interviewed by the media when they were one of the owners of Starlight Plaza there was demolishing someone's property, and the person said, you know, we fed up with the PNM, Dr. Rowley isn't there with us, we're going to MSJ. So people are seeing the MSJ as the only alternative, and that is what we are offering right now.
How do you propose that you're going to tap into the hardcore UNC PNM supporters? What advantages the MSJ possess that would enable you to capture that?
One, we have integrity. Secondly, we have a different style of politics, so that when we have our Congress, for example, people speak. We've had community meetings, and at those community meetings, we don't speak. We allow the community to speak. So it's not a top-down leadership style. It is very much participatory and empowering people. And then people know that we will fight for them regardless of the consequences. And that is what we have demonstrated. We walk the talk. And those are the advantages that we have over the other parties.
My final question. We're saying that, I mean, constitutionally, you're saying that you all supposed to have your elections, right? But we are seeing generally, overboard, everybody is in an election mode. Do you see an election in the making in the near future or soon? I mean, it is due in 2020.
Yeah.
Do you see something is happening? Is there a message going out there that something is happening?
No, this is simply the parties' cycles and so on. So it just happens that our term of office, we had our founding Congress in 2011, and we have 3-year terms, so 2011, 2014, 2017. That's our cycle.
Yes, I know.
And the COP had its own issues.
Yeah.
The PNM has their convention annual conference this weekend. That's their annual cycle. We have a congress every year.
Yes.
So this is just a cycle.
Yes,
However, the only one who has suggested that they're trying to put themselves in a position for the next elections by bringing forward their internal election is the UNC in terms of the political leader. So you have to isolate Kamala Prasad on that question. We are not about changing our timetable because of any perceived general election. We are engaged in party building, in developing our party, and that is what, and our democracy says we must have the elections now, and our democracy says we must have our Congress now, and that is what we are doing. But we are working towards 2020, as the other parties are. Yes, because that's a general election. But no, I don't foresee an early election unless there's some spectacular crisis in the country.
Well, it should in case that happen.
One other question.
We like to go on the basis of reality and not speculation.
Question. Should you be reappointed as political leader?
Elected, yeah.
Elected.
Yeah.
Will you all be contesting any of the local government elections next year, which is kind of for next year? How many?
Well, local elections are due in 2019. It's every 3 years.
Not next year?
No, 2019 is every 3 years. The last one was in 2016 November, so the next one will be due in 2019. Right, 17, 18, 19, 3 years, every 3 years, trust me. We don't know if those elections will be held. The government said they was going to engage in reform of local government. They were supposed to complete that before November last year. That didn't happen. They said right afterwards they're going to do it in time for the next election, but we've seen nothing happening with local government reform. So we're really not sure about what is happening with those elections. We'll take it in stride, and when that bridge comes, we will cross it, but we are doing the work on the ground of building up in communities so that we can be in a position to challenge for the elections that we want to challenge for. Okay? Thank you very much. Thanks. Get off the road
You think
safely.
those elections are too close? You think those elections are too close?
Something weird, boy. Something could happen. Well, I don't know. I mean, could always happen.